This is a cute little character that I'm sure you're going to enjoy making for your kids, and I'm sure they're going to love receiving it, maybe for birthday or Christmas time. Not just a pretty face though. On the other side you can see there's a zip all the way across, so it makes a perfect place to pop your pennies, maybe for a dinner money, make them a bit bigger so you can keep pencils in there, or it's kind of the right shape for a CD. So it's fun, it's easy to make, it's made from felt, which is a great fabric to work with because it doesn't fray, and it doesn't take very much time either. So this is how we do it. First thing I need to do is make a template. So I need to draw an oval, so I'm going to draw a circle first of all, and this is just a 6-inch bowl that I'm using as a template. If I move the bowl across by about an inch and draw again, I'll get my oval shape. If I draw a straight line across the top here and across the bottom here, that's an oval. I also need 2 eyes, and my eyes are going to be 3-inch circles. So just offset from top left hand side. And to make sure I get that in the right place on the other side so it's symmetrical, what I would do then would be to fold this in half and cut around both sides together, so I've got even sides either side of my face. You'll cut out 4 pieces in felt, all exactly the same. You'll also need a zip that's long enough to go all the way across and a little bit extra across the back of the face. Now I say the back, if you wanted to use the zip on the front of the face, you've got a frog with a big zippy mouth. If you wanted to have this as the zip on the back, then this is what I'm going to do to the front of my froggy face. So I've cut out 2 round felt squares of black, 2 round felt squares of white, and I've sewn those on. Honestly, I've sewn the black on, I've glued the white on, and then I've used a back stitch with some thick cord to make a V shape in the centre. If you fold that in half and finger crease, that'll give you the line where you're going to just draw 2 little V's from either side. So I'll put that to one side for the moment, and its corresponding lining to one side. And then I'll need to take the 2 remaining pieces. Those are still just joined together, I'll snip those apart. Take your ruler and cutter and cut straight the way across, and this is where your zip's going to sit. So my zip needs to go on the outside first. One of these is the outside and one of those is the lining. They're both exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter. And place my zip face down with the edge to the top first of all, and I'm going to sew across there. And then I'll take the bottom section and sew that onto the other side of the zip. So I'll do those 2 pieces first. So that's how we're looking at the moment. So I need to sew the lining onto the opposite side. So making sure that I've matched the eyes up with the eyes and the chin up with the chin. Just sandwich the zip in between the 2 pieces, making sure I'm lining them up so that they're the same either side. And we'll just sew down both sides. Now felt does have a habit of stretching a little bit, don't worry about that, because we can trim down the excess when we're finished. So I need to sew the bottom of his chin on the second side, right sides together. Not that there is a right side with felt. Like so. Now just to make that neat, I'm going to do a top stitch down either side of the zip, and that will also help to keep the layers of fabric together. Do a longer stitch as it's decorative. other side. There. Next thing to do is to chop off the end of my zip, make that a little bit neater, less bulky on the inside. I've taken a strip of felt and I'm just going to loop that over to make like a pull at the side there. And I'm just going to stitch that on my sewing machine to hold it in place. This is only a tacking stitch. So really close to the edge of the zip. And just take it easy as you go over the coil of the zip. It's not very often you break a needle on one, but it can be done. And on this side, let me trim that zip down again so it matches all the way around. I'm simply going to sew the end of the zip together because I'll need to construct my little froggy face with the zip open so I can turn it the right way around. So that just holds the two edge pieces together, and again you're not going to see that, it'll sit inside the seam. Okay, and I need to line up all four pieces together. Right, the way this goes together, the zip facing upwards goes to the face facing downwards. Then if I turn the whole lot over, the second side goes on top of the back of the zip. So I've got lining, lining, outer, outer. Before I sew all the way around, I'm just going to take the two lining sections out of the way. So I've got the zip facing up, oh it's come undone, never mind, and then the face facing inwards. So I've got my two right sides together, and I'm going to stitch just around the bottom here. And that's going to make it look a little bit neater when I turn it the right way round. Okay. And then I'm going to fold over the lining sections. I'll pin these before I sew them. And I'm going to go all the way around the outside, but leave a gap of around about 4 inches in the bottom so I can turn it the right way round. Now the last thing I need to do is to snip into the corners, just up to the stitches. That's going to make it a little bit neater when I turn it the right way round. And just around the curves, you can either snip into it with ordinary scissors if you like, but if you've got pinking shears it just makes it a lot easier. Just cut around the curves and that makes it neater on the inside when you turn this the right way around. Okay, and then we're nearly ready. That'll do. So, take those out of the way. Take the lining and turn the lining right sides out. Now remember, I told you to leave the zip open so that we can turn this around. Oh, eyes popping out. So that's lining sides, push the right way around, shush. Then turn it through the zip. So we've got a nice neat hem all the way around the face on the outside, and where's my eye gone? And on the inside you'll have an opening in the lining that you can then sew by hand. So just push all of these little bits and bobs out and give it a press with the iron when you're finished. Oh, there you go, nearly done. So the only thing I've got left to do now is just at the bottom there. I can either go over that with my sewing machine, or I think I'm going to sew it by hand actually to make it neat. You won't see it, it's on the inside of the pocket, but that's the two sides of the lining that I left open for turning. And when that's sewn together, after a little bit of a press, there's my coin purse.